Hi, Steve Hughes of Hands On Physics Education. I'm up north of Brisbane at a town called Montville on the Sunshine Coast hinterland, and there's something up here which I'm going to show you, which is rather interesting. So this is the restaurant with outdoor air conditioning, and the way it works, water is forced out through the nozzles and forms a fine spray, and that fine spray has a much greater surface area than if the water was in a solid sphere, and so it spreads out through the air, and because water has such a high heat of vaporization, it extracts heat from the air as it evaporates, and that cools the air, and so we've got natural air conditioning. Let's explore what's going on in more detail. Water has a very high heat of vaporization, which is the amount of energy required to change a given amount of water from a liquid to a gas. And so evaporative cooling is an efficient means of extracting heat from the air. A high pressure pump is required to produce such a fine mist, with droplets as small as 5 micrometers in diameter. There are two main advantages of using such fine drops. One is that the tiny droplets evaporate while suspended in the air, which cools the air. The second advantage is that splitting water into millions of droplets dramatically increases the surface area and therefore evaporation rate. For example, if a 1 litre sphere of water is split into 15 trillion 5 micrometer droplets, the area of the water-air interface is increased by a factor of 25,000. To put some figures to this, the surface area of a 1 litre sphere of water is 480 centimetres squared, a bit less than an A4 sheet of paper, but the total surface area of 15 trillion 5 micrometer water droplets is 1,200 metres squared, about the same as an Olympic swimming pool. So let's make some measurements to gauge the effectiveness of the system. I'm now outside of the air-conditioned area, and you can see the temperature is 30 centigrade, so quite warm. So I'm now back in the main restaurant area, so we're within the air-conditioned region, and you can see the temperature is 3 degrees lower at 27 centigrade, so it really does work.